Hello class 6. Today we'll start the 5th chapter of English 1, that is nouns case. We know what nouns are. A lot of time we have studied about nouns. Nouns are the naming words, the names of places, animals, things or emotions. Now in this chapter we'll see that how nouns and case are correlated with each other. So before we begin with this chapter, we'll see what do we understand by case. Now case, it says that it refers to how does the nouns and pronouns are used in relation to the other words in a sentence. Meaning to say that in a sentence we know that there's always a use of a noun and a pronoun. So what does the case says about it? That we have to find out what relation does the noun or the pronoun has with the remaining part of the sentence. For example, see, Rita played basketball. What is the noun over here? Rita is a noun over here. Fine. Now we have to find out that this noun, Rita, how it is related with the remaining part of the sentence. What is the remaining part of the sentence? Played basketball. Right? Now here, while we study nouns case, they are the two things that will be mostly used, that we'll study about. That is nouns and verbs. Nouns are the naming words and verb is an action words. So in a sentence, Rita is a noun and played is a verb. Why played is a verb? Because it is an action that is performed by the noun. Any action word, any doing word are known as verbs. So this played is a main verb over here. This is a main verb, an action that is performed by a noun. Right? Now in case, we'll study about three types of case. The first is nominative case, second is objective case, and third is possessive case. Now we'll look into all these cases one by one. Okay, so we'll begin with nominative case. Now what do we understand by nominative case? Nominative case, it says that when a noun is used as the subject of a verb. Now here nominative case says that the main noun is used as a subject of a verb. For example, Sonia bought a gold ring. Now we know that Sonia is the name of a person and it is a noun over here. Bought, it is an action, so it is a verb. A gold ring is an object. Fine. Now what does the sentence says? It says that the noun is used as the subject. So if Sonia is our noun, so this will be our subject. Now what is the subject? Subject is what we are talking about. So here we are talking about Sonia, and what are we talking about the subject? We are talking about the subject that Sonia bought a gold ring. This bought was the action that was performed by Sonia. Fine. The next is the mobile was lost by Prakash. So the mobile is a noun and subject will take place. Fine. Now was lost is our verb. By Prakash is the remaining part of the sentence. So this is how nominative case works. There are certain things that you need to take a note of, that is, the subject in a sentence usually appears before the verb. There are a lot of sentences in which the subject will always, not always, but basically it will appear before the verb. If I write the dog killed the mouse. So the dog is a noun Fine. Dog is a noun over here and it is working as a subject. And killed is our main verb. So before the main verb, we have a subject. This happens with most of the sentences. Fine. And next it says that to identify subject in a sentence, ask question from the verb. Now suppose if a sentence is given over there and we have to identify which is the main subject in a sentence. So the second note says that how do we need to identify that what is the subject or who is the subject in a sentence. So it says that ask question from the verb. Right? See, the dog killed the mouse. What is the verb over here? The verb is killed. Now, what question do we need to ask from the main verb? Ask who and what. If the question who and what answers the question, then that answer will be our subject. For example, who killed the mouse? This is the main verb. So we are asking question from the verb. Who killed the mouse? So what is the answer that is coming? The dog. So this, the dog, will be the subject. Right? I hope you're clear with the nominative case. Okay, the second type of case that we are going to see is objective case. Now objective case, it says that when a noun is used as the object of a verb. Now here the noun is used as the object of a verb. For example, the man hits the door. Now if you look into the sentence, there are two nouns, the man and the door. But here what we have to find out, we have to find out the object in a sentence. So what is the object in a sentence? If this is the noun, hits is a verb, the door, the remaining part of the sentence, is our object. So when a noun is used as the object of a verb, so the door is the object of the verb hits. This noun, the door, is taking place of an object, and in objective case it questions what. So whatever we get the answer, whatever answer that we get from the word what, that is our object. So if we question the man hits what, the man hits what will be the answer? The door. This is the object. Why this is the object? Because this was the action that was performed. Fine. Similarly, Ritu broke the glass. Here we know that Ritu is a noun, the glass is again a noun, and here the man and the Ritu both are working as a subject, but we have to find out the object. What is an object? When an action takes place on an object. So the glass, Ritu broke the glass. Broke is our verb. This is a verb. Why? Because the action was performed. The glass is an object. Fine. Now in objective case, we'll be studying about two objects. One is direct object and the other is indirect objects. Let's see the difference between the direct object and the indirect object. Okay, so in objective case, we'll see the two types of object. We'll learn about how to identify whether in a sentence it is a direct object or whether it is an indirect object. So it says that direct object, it names the things. That means the names of the things belongs to the direct object. whereas in indirect object it names the person. For example, I was taught physics by Divya. I is our subject. Was taught is our verb because it is an action performed. Now physics is a thing, so this physics will be our direct object. Now Divya, it is a indirect object. Why it is an indirect object? Because it's naming the person. So this is an indirect object. So this is the easiest way to identify the direct and indirect object in a sentence. Now the third type of case that we'll look into is possessive case. Now possessive case, it says that when a noun shows possession or ownership, that means the things that belongs to a person. Suppose this car is mine. So I'm telling you that this car is mine. That means I am the owner of this car. Now note one thing, in possessive case, there is always a use of apostrophe in possessive case when a noun is singular. When in a sentence a noun is singular, a noun is singular, then we use apostrophe s, that means comma s. Why do we use apostrophe s? Because we are talking about only one person. Adding apostrophe s in a noun shows that we are talking about only one particular thing. On the other hand, when we add s in a word without apostrophe, it means that we are not talking about one thing, but we are talking about things in a group. There's a difference. Suppose schools. If I have added this s over here, it means that I'm not talking about one school, but it refers to many schools. Similarly, Meenal's book. Here, if I am using apostrophe s with the noun Meenal, that means I'm talking about only Meenal, no other person. So this is what possessive case is. Further example, Meenal's schedule is fixed. Here we are talking about only Meenal, only one person, and her schedule is fixed. Then that is his car. This his shows the ownership. Got it? So this is what possessive case is. Now we'll see the use of apostrophe s in possessive case. Now it says that if the noun is singular, then adding an apostrophe s, this comma and s. Now if a noun is singular, suppose if a noun is just king, so we add this apostrophe s just after the word king to show the possession. That means we are talking about only one king. Fine. Similarly, Mr. Roy's. That means we are talking about only one Mr. Roy. Now further it says that plural nouns that ends in s, we add an apostrophe after s. Now plural noun, what happens in plural nouns? We talk about more than two things in plural nouns. So if a noun is already in plural, that means, see example, teachers' residence. So we don't need to add s after s. We just add this comma after s. Fine. Now there are certain plural words that doesn't ends with s, but it is a plural noun. Such words are children and women. Now these two terms are already a plural noun, so we add s after the plural noun. That means the children become children's. Fine. Similarly, women, it becomes women's, apostrophe s. So this is the use of apostrophe in possessive case. I hope you're clear with the nouns case, what the things that we studied. We studied about the case, we studied about the types of case, nominative case, objective case, and possessive case. Go through the video carefully and see if you have any doubt. So if you have any doubt, you can just contact me through my WhatsApp number. And the exercises which are given in the book, it will be uploaded in the dashboard and you'll get the notification for that. Till then, you take care. Thank you.